Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Prophet Fantasy Football Show. Today is a very fun episode, a first of its kind. We're doing a live draft, not a live mock draft, a live draft for the Prophet Followers League. JT is here with me. We're going to go pick by pick doing this draft. Are you excited, JT?
I'm excited. It's like you were just saying before we started the live. I think it's both of our first drafts of the season. One of, I'm sure, many for both of us. But yeah, I'm super excited. And of course, you can't have the first draft of the season without some theatrics going on. And you, my friend, have made a trade before the draft is even started.
Yep.
If you want to break that down.
I'm drafting from the 106, which we did a podcast where we did a mock draft a while ago. And we both pretty much said we hate drafting from that right middle spot. And then I randomized the order for this, and that's where we both ended up. So today I sent my first overall pick, the 1/6 first round pick, to someone for the first overall, the 101, so that I can get one of those three players, the Justin Jefferson, the Jamar Chase, the Christian McCaffrey. I can get one of them. And then I sent my third round, the 3/6, to him. So he moves back a few picks. He's happy taking maybe Bijan Robinson or a Tyreek Hill or a Travis Kelce in that middle of the first. I want to move up, secure that elite player to really draft the rest of my team around. So we've already had some theatrics, but I feel confident. I'm fine losing that third. I'm reaching for Gibbs in the second anyway. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for telling me your strategy here. Sounds good. I will not I'll try to not make each other angry tonight. I think there might be some times where you, especially since we are literally back to back here.
Yeah.
There's gonna be times where someone snipes someone. But I'm excited to see how the board falls here, and definitely one of us is going to take one of the other's Prophet approved players tonight, and it's going to be fun. I'm excited.
Whoever gets Olave, the other one's mad. But if you take Gibbs, I'm taking Chigakonkwa. So
okay, all right, yeah.
Well, you also forget we're drafting against people who listen to our show, who are going to be doing the same thing to us. Everyone is going to be draft sniping us. Everyone.
Yes. Yep. I kindly forgot about that. So I wouldn't be surprised if the first picks are like, it just goes, every single Prophet approved guy goes in the first like 7 picks. And then it's like, all right, there you go. You know, I do think it's interesting to point out that we are doing this league on Sleeper. Just like, I'm glad I'm finally like fully converted to Sleeper for like most of my leagues, because like, the rankings of every single different platform is so crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like, it hurts my brain having to try to like figure out on every single different platform where they actually should be ranked. So like, this will be good for me. My first sleeper draft that I have for this season.
Not to mention the app actually works well, unlike so many other platforms.
Yeah,
I don't want to look at a desktop. I want to be, going to the bathroom during church, pull out my phone. I can see who,
yeah, exactly.
So
right.
How are you approaching this at the 1/7? Are you best player available?
It's tough. I think so. Of course, there could be something crazy that happens in the picks before me.
I think some craziness will happen.
Of course, it always has to happen, right? But like, yeah, probably right now at the 107, there's not a lot that I can do. Really, when you think about it, I just like definitely need to see what happens for the first 6 picks, but I definitely will probably go best player available. Which whoever that player is, like, that is yet to be seen, but we will see.
I'm excited. We're about to start. We got probably about 25 seconds. It's so rare that I get the first overall pick I had to trade for, and here we go. I'm starting the draft. And here we go. First big draft of the season. This is pretty much automatic, right? Right?
No way.
We talked about it. I said the earliest I might take him is 2. I think that I have been convinced of his glory. I'm taking Profit approved Bijan Robinson at the 101. And there goes Jefferson.
I'm kind of
You're
stunned
flabbergasted.
right now. I'm pretty stunned at what has gone down here in the
I got to put my money where my mouth is.
You do. We talked. How many drinks have you had in you to take him at 1 here? We had to heed his warning.
It's the Blake Bortles jersey made me do it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. There goes McCaffrey at 3. So Chase at 4.
McCaffrey and Chase.
So
at
the big
4,
3 went, and which means I probably could have stayed where I am.
Yeah, definitely with Austin Eckler, Travis Kelce, and now Tyreek Hill on the board.
You're in a good spot.
See, I'm really in a good spot because I thought I was gonna have to pick between Bijan Robinson and Cooper Kupp. But now I don't really have to, like
there goes Hill.
Tyreek Hill goes there. So now it is would have been your pick, but not anymore. Man, I'm just like, so Austin Eckler there goes at the 106. So that leaves me here at the 107. And I'm going to take the best positional value in all of fantasy football. And I'm going to take Travis Kelce. The old man ain't done yet. The old man ain't done yet. He's gonna have a solid season. So
well, we're both putting our money where our mouth is right now.
Yeah, it works out well for me. I think I'm excited to find. I think this may be the first year I ever have Travis Kelce in any of my leagues, which probably doesn't bode well for me.
This is the year he falls off now. Since
I was, however, considering Stephon Diggs at 8. So Deming B09898 with the good pick right there. Yeah. I think I do like Stephon Diggs has probably one of the safest floors of any wide receiver on a week-to-week basis, especially this season. So I like that pick a lot.
Barkley and Kupp. Kupp fell 110. Feels late for Cooper Kupp, but
it does. But considering what happened at the beginning of this draft. Yeah. And there goes another one of our profit approved guys, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Really didn't expect him to fall out of the first round. Definitely right now in those 12 team leagues, he definitely is going at the 11 or 12 turn there. So like good value on him.
Lamb and Chubb for the 112 and 2-1. That's a good stat. That's a good pairing, I think. I'm interested to see if this guy goes Amon and then another wide receiver. I'm hoping he doesn't, because then there will not be many wide receivers left for me at the 207.
Yeah, you're gonna have to dig deep here. He's thinking about it though.
Okay,
he goes Garrett
Wilson. Oh boy.
Alrighty. Playing the 0 RB strategy right now. See if this continues. Definitely some really good value on the board here still for wide receivers right now with AJ Brown, Devontae Adams on the board. Surprised that he's still here. And there goes AJ Brown. So I would be surprised if Devontae Adams stays on the board right now and makes it to me. But a lot of good players. Yeah, there goes.
They're not going to
Devontae Adams
many left. Oh dear.
Yeah. It's not looking great for you.
Well, it doesn't matter because Bijan Robinson is going to catch the ball too. So he's my running back 1 and wide receiver 1.
Okay. Well, yeah, we talked about how he probably does have probably the safest floor down there. Going to be catching both the ball.
Ooh, Mahomes,
Patrick Mahomes going at the 205. And this leaves me in a very interesting position.
Is interesting.
It's tough here at the 107 or the 206. Sorry,
Derrick Henry.
I could take Derrick Henry, but he's not going to come back to me. I'm going to take Chris Olave here. I'm taking profit approved Chris Olave.
Oh man.
And maybe a good pick by the guy at the 2-5 there taking Mahomes, because I definitely was trying to consider maybe stacking Patrick Mahomes.
I wish he hadn't done it.
Travis Kelce. So now you were back up on the
board. I have 10 seconds. I'm gonna go all in on the running backs.
And taking Jonathan Taylor.
Look, if he stays on that team, He's a steal at 2.7. If he gets traded, he's a steal at 2.7. If he doesn't play this year, I'm screwed. I'm capitalizing on the fear. I think he plays. I think he plays this year. And at 2.7, Jonathan Taylor, I think I'm happy with that. And now I can go into round 4 and 5, focusing 100% on wide receiver.
Definitely you're definitely safe right now. You have two very, very solid running back room. And now you kind of can just take the value, which we talked about how wide receiver is incredibly deep this season. As I was saying on Bijan Robinson, like dude is going to probably be that third best receiving back in the league this season. Like I think he probably has like a very good chance to compete with Austin Eckler and Christian McCaffrey there, to be one of those best running backs. So like I'm excited for him. I think he's gonna have a great season at the 101, like you said, like craziness. And then
another quarterback. So
another quarterback here, and then of course we are. So both quarterbacks go off the board here, and we are live on your YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, it worked.
Which we did get a comment here, and it's from Jake, who says, "How do you feel about Nick Chubb this year?" I personally love Nick Chubb this season. Wouldn't be surprised if he leads the league in rushing. I really like him. I think he even gets more upside. And there goes Jahmyr Gibbs. So Jahmyr Gibbs will not be available for you. So won't be able to get three running backs there.
It would be a crazy start. It really
would.
If I had Bijan, Taylor, Gibbs, that would be dangerous. But it's probably for my own good.
Yeah, probably. But Nick Chubb this season, we talked about how no more Kareem Hunt there. Definitely saw his highest target rate last season, had the most receptions of his career. Now, even with his backup in Gerald Ford, I believe his name is, he's injured. So like very, very real possibility that Nick Chubb is maybe a contender for a top.
And this is a year that with an upgraded quarterback, they might actually be down in the red zone. Which, imagine Nick Chubb with just some more touchdowns.
Yes.
Especially Kareem Hunt was used on the goal line too, which always confused me a little bit.
So you are now up here.
No, I traded that pick.
That's right. Oh, that's right. You traded that pick, and he takes Mark Andrews. So really,
my fourth round pick is important.
So right now with that pick, trading back, Josemi, I believe is his name. How he is going here has Austin Eckler, Najee Harris, Josh Allen, and Mark Andrews, which is certainly
he's got a good team.
It's a very good team. So like, I'm up. I forgot. And I'm going to take Ramondre Stevenson here. Get a running back who probably still has a decently safe floor at the not going to be touching top 5, of course, with Ezekiel Elliott there.
Low end RB1.
But I still need to get a running back because I just like a lot of the guys down the board here currently at value is not my favorite.
Higgins goes. I'm not crazy about that pick for him. He's now entering the 4th round without a running back. ETN is still on the board. I'm surprised about that.
On the board. 0 RB, man. We'll see how, especially Al Sham here goes also 0 RB.
Yep, Justin Fields.
We'll see if it continues.
This is playing out pretty well for me that I went the 2 running backs. That wide receivers go early, and now people are getting the running backs and quarterbacks. Still some wide receivers going, but in previous years, there would be a big run on wide receivers right now. But we see a running back go, another quarterback, Justin Herbert, Prophet Proof, big fan of that guy. But there was no chance I could take a quarterback here. It has to be a wide receiver.
Yeah,
unless
you might get crazy.
Okay, I will say if Tyler Algier comes out week 1 and does anything, I will delete the podcast. I will go live in a cabin. It will ruin me.
If Tyler Algier gets like 10 carries and
Cordero
Patterson gets 4 receptions, like does not look good for you, man.
Oh boy. So you have a very balanced team. Are you gonna try to balance it even more and take the quarterback here?
I'm thinking about it. Of course, I need
You
to
got
see if he
Burrow,
even it will.
Lawrence.
So Burrow will be like,
on.
oh,
Miles
Miles
Sanders goes.
Sanders. Wow. Okay. I I kind of been thinking about it, but also there is some other quarterbacks down the board that that I feel pretty safe with.
Geno
Um,
Smith.
maybe one of him. He might be there in consideration, but also just taking as many of these top guys as I possibly can. Aaron Jones goes there, so
Okay,
Aaron
I'm good
Jones
with that.
was the guy that I probably was going to target there. So a little unfortunate. So yeah, I think I'm going to shift and take Joe Burrow.
All right, and I'm on the board. I'm not crazy about any of these wide receivers. Debo, Hopkins, McLaurin. I would rather. I sound crazy. I would rather wait another round and go with Godwin or Lockett. I think that they'll be serviceable. These guys aren't wide receiver ones. I'm gonna go with another running back. No, I have to take one. I have to. I'm taking Hopkins. I clicked on his name. I didn't click it. No. Oh,
Well,
okay.
it gives you
I
Debo
clicked on the
Samuel.
name. I hesitated. I thought, okay, maybe the running back's a better value. Then I went, no, I can't be crazy. I have to take a wide receiver. Click on Hopkins, but don't click the actual plus sign. Maybe it's better for me. I like Debo. It's not the end of the. I got to take myself off auto draft though.
Yeah, that is something that you should definitely do there. But Debo is not terrible.
No,
the difference between DeAndre Hopkins, like they are both going to get force-fed targets this season. It's just I think as of right now, Ryan Tannehill is probably a better quarterback than Brock Purdy, which to some is probably a crazy that's a crazy take. But he just is
Tannehill.
Tannehill is so underrated. But I don't have a problem with Debo Samuel as your wide receiver one.
I have a problem with it.
you might have a problem with it. As DJ Moore now goes there as well. So we come back around here, and this juggernaut that Josemi here is putting together, now taking DeAndre Hopkins as his wide receiver one.
I hate that guy. He's got Ellen, Eckler,
you're the one who traded
Hopkins,
with him,
and Mark
man.
Andrews, and now Terry McLaurin.
You're the one who
guys, I might have messed up.
You might have messed up, maybe.
Okay, but Bijan, Taylor, Debo, if all those players work out, like kind of meet expectations, it'll be great. It just feels like there's a lot of bust potential. Like I could come out week one and put up 12 points.
I mean, yeah, if they slow play Bijan, like I don't see a world where that would ever happen.
If Taylor doesn't come back, oh boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'll be good with Taylor. Honestly, I think that if Taylor does end up playing a full season, I think that's the saving grace for this team, getting Taylor there at the mid-second round.
And I think all signs will eventually point to Jonathan Taylor playing this season. Yeah, I mean, I just it's tough with Anthony Richardson there, right? Like how much of that is going to be impacted / how much is that going to help him? Like,
don't take that stack away from me. Don't do it.
Yeah, like getting the room there with Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor, as long as they're both able to get their cut of the of those rushing touches, like I feel good about that. It's just the only part that would concern me probably.
I think Chris Godwin is pretty safe this year.
Okay, so you go Chris Godwin there.
Yeah.
I mean, there are question marks about his
quarterback,
but they did just name Baker Mayfield the quarterback one.
I don't think he's going to be like a high upside play, but I feel like I can plug him in and I'm not going to be scared every week.
Yeah, so looking to go wide receiver here again, I'm going to take Christian Watson, the now wide receiver one of the Green Bay Packers. From what I saw when I went to see him in the preseason so far, looks good. Like he has a good connection with Jordan Love. They're getting him very involved. I think Jordan Love is going to be better than people expect this year. So, I'm good with Christian Watson being my wide receiver 2, as Breece Hall finally goes. A fall from grace there, going at the 5'8", in these drafts right now. Like, his ADP has fallen a lot ever since Dalvin Cook has been signed, but also there are just questions about if he will play this season and how long it will take him to get back on the field. Darren Waller goes. Another,
but even when he does come back,
mention.
If he's healthy, you have to imagine they just paid a lot of money for Dalvin Cook. You have to imagine it's not just going to be the Breece Hall show. So honestly, I wouldn't have taken Breece Hall there. I probably would have waited 6th round. We've said it before, though. I don't think either of us are ending up with him on our teams. We're maybe trading for him later. Oh, there goes Cam Akers.
Cam Akers goes there.
I was hoping he'd make it around.
You're hoping he would make it around.
There goes your guy. There goes James
and
Conner.
There goes James Conner as well. So now that puts us in a precarious, at least me, it puts me in a little bit of a precarious position. Not going to lie, I was probably going to target one of those two. Yeah. So now as we look to the board, I still need a running back 2 here. And don't love the options on the board, so as Dobbins goes there.
Here's Kamara, Swift, Cook. That's rough. That's the zoo. I'm glad I'm not in your shoes. Glad you have to Bijan 101.
There you go. So we'll see what happens here. Definitely could go tight end here.
Do you like Kyle Pitts here? He's still
Kyle Pitts already went surprisingly, but Tyler Lockett goes. Another Prophet approved guy.
This is getting hard.
Man,
it's different drafting when everyone knows what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the volume of Dameon Pierce and hope that that's a serviceable running back too. Not super in love with my running back room right now for sure. Definitely, yeah. Not getting any of
no clue what to
you do. Have no clue right here.
Okay. Christian Kirk 6'7". I think it's a good value. That's another guy. If Trevor Lawrence has the massive season, sure, Calvin Ridley, a lot sexier of a player. Christian Kirk was the wide receiver 1 there. He's not just going to fade into nothingness.
I agree with you. I think there is a very real possibility that they basically get the same amount of receptions or targets this season. Like, Christian Kirk is not going away anytime soon in what seems to be a very high profile offense next season. Like, I'm good with that.
I'm fine with this team right now. It is a deeper league, so 3 wide receivers and then 2 flexes. And then 2 kickers. I forgot to even tell everyone this league plays with 2 kickers.
2 kickers.
Years ago, everyone was saying, and they still say, you have to get rid of the kicker position in fantasy football. It's random luck. And I said, or maybe it's because no one plays and pays attention to kickers, so we don't know enough about them. So when I started this league, we played with 2 kickers to try to learn more about the kicker position. It's kind of an experiment. So far, we haven't learned anything. It's still random luck, but maybe this is the year kind of that maybe the science starts to click.
We have another pick here, or another comment here from Jake, who says, what is your guys' favorite picks to draft from this season? I really like the 104 this season, just because like there is like a clear like top 4 or 5 guys, and you kind of get to control the turn coming back your way in like rounds 2, 4, and 6. The 104 is one of my favorite spots, and you're on the board here. What are you looking for?
I think Dalvin Cook will be a good player early on, honestly, in the 7th round with Breece still recovering. I think that he could see a lot of work early. And since I'm drafting at the 7-6, I got the 7th from the guy in the trade. That's when I'm going to take the wide receiver. I wasn't crazy about Pittman or Mike Williams or Marquise Brown. There's a guy I like more that I think I can draft.
And your Prophet approved, one of your Prophet approved, was he Prophet approved? Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson, he's still, there he just went.
Yes,
he goes.
That's what I was saying.
I'm okay with it. I'm not in a position where I can afford a quarterback right now.
That's fair. And yeah, to your point, Jake, I like the 104. Is there any certain position you like drafting from this season?
Yeah, the 101 if Bijan is still there. No, probably my go-to is kind of 8th pick. I like a lot of guys at the end of the 1st round. who go there, and I like the stacks you can get, kind of as we saw with these guys, the Cup AJ Brown or the Saquon Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra, Garrett Wilson, Nick Chubb goes in the second a lot of times. That's kind of a lot of the players that I really like in getting that kind of. I like drafting at the end because then I know that I can get someone here in the 6th pick. I have to reach, so I'm taking a player here above where I should because I know that there's a good chance on the next time around he will be gone, especially with how many people know that I want him. I'm going to take Jahan Dotson. I think he's a good flex wide receiver this season. So it's a lot earlier, but I know someone will take him if I don't. Whereas if I drafted at the end, I could take a different running back, maybe a quarterback, and afford knowing that he's going to make it around to me. So you have too much ambiguity in the middle here.
I agree. And so doing the same exact thing, we're on the same exact page. I'm going to have to reach for someone that I know is not going to be there when I come back around. Don't love my running back room right now. It is James Cook. I'm going to take James Cook, kind of make my running back room look a little better. So definitely excited to add him to the team. Definitely wouldn't be, I'm pretty happy with him being my running back 2 this season. So maybe can flip him and Dameon Pierce. I feel better with like having Dameon. Weirdly enough, I feel better having Dameon Pierce as my flex than my running back 2. So David Montgomery goes, Mike Williams goes here.
Well, it's interesting. You got Stevenson and Cook are kind of the PPR guys, and then Pierce is just the volume play potentially. So,
and that's what I think I'm going for right now. It's a little bit balanced, not my favorite. Definitely a lot of wide receivers on this board that I would have liked. Keenan Allen came back, was sniped a little bit before. I was looking at Keenan Allen there instead of taking Joe Burrow, or Jerry Jeudy was taken a couple picks before myself. So right now, I think I'm pretty content right now with this team. But yeah, like I had no faith whatsoever that that James Cook was going to come back around.
I was very close to taking him. If I had needed a running back slightly more, he's the one that I would have also reached for in that position. I'm hoping
that's very interesting.
Hoping that someone makes it back to me. I'm not going to say the name. You know who it is. A lot of people listening know who it is. I'm not going to say it in case someone drafting is watching this. I've had people in this league. Oh my.
And there he goes. You just had to jinx it on the same pick right there. Anthony Richardson goes. So, and I knew that was going to be your plan. You had to wait one player or one guy more to pick a quarterback. And you were going to go with the team of Anthony Richardson and
Jonathan Taylor. And it goes back 100% to where I talked about. I don't like drafting right there in the middle, because you have to wait so long. You got to reach, and the guy right at the end of the draft was able to grab him from me. So, oh boy, I don't know what to do at quarterback now. It's got to be Geno Smith.
You also have Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers to a Kirk.
So this is very interesting right now. I'm between two guys, I think.
Still some good running backs.
Yeah. I honestly, in the 8th round, I think it's a pretty good value. I'll take Michael Pittman there. I mean, I think Anthony Richardson is a lot better passer than people give him credit for. So I'm going to take him as the wide receiver 1. Last year was a struggle, but like was still able to sometimes perform. But in the 8th round, he falls about a round or 2. So I'm good with him there, I think.
I'm going to take Brian Robinson.
Okay.
I haven't drafted him before. I think that this offense is going to be a lot better, and I do think he is the main starting running back. And I don't think that there's the upside with someone like Bijan, of course, and I don't think there's the PPR upside as well. But I think that he'll just be a really solid RB3 this whole season. I can plug him in a flex if I have to. I'm not crazy about him or anything, but I think he'll be a fine, serviceable bench running back that I can plug in. I think that he has a pretty safe workload there have been worse running backs that have kept Antonio Gibson off the field. And I will say, when he was horrible last year, he'd been shot in the butt. So
That is true.
if he had gotten
was
if he had gotten shot in the butt again, I would stay away. But healthy, it might work out this year. Over the back, like 3-4 games, he was actually pretty good. So
yeah, I'm with you there. Brian Robinson was a guy that I really liked last season. Definitely was on the Brian Robinson train from the get-go, even before he was shot. So like I think he is probably the running back one. Of course, I think Antonio Gibson gets some touches. But yeah, Brian Robinson, I think, gets the bulk of the work there. Brandon Cooks goes. That's a guy that I was eyeing. I was between him and Michael Pittman. Couldn't pass up the value on Michael Pittman, but I knew that Brandon Cooks probably wasn't going to come back around. So now the board gets really interesting, I think.
We both have to go quarterback here, I think. And that's one of the reasons I took Brian Robinson and waited on a quarterback. Is there 3 quarterbacks that I'm fine with left? It's Aaron Rodgers, Tua, and Geno Smith. Every team drafting between us and when we pick again has a quarterback already. The chance that all 3 of those go before we draft as their backups, I don't think is likely.
Well, I have Joe Burrow, so I'm chilling.
Oh yeah, you're fine. I'm looking.
You are the last person in the league who needs a
so I get
here.
my choice. I get my choice.
You get your choice of any quarterbacks, and Zay Flowers goes, a guy that I was about to target.
I don't like any of them that much. I'm gonna wait on quarterback.
I mean, it's probably the smart thing to do, right? Yeah. Like, since you are the last one. I mean, I still think there's some good options out there. Definitely one way to play it, I think. There's a lot of guys who still have a safe floor, as Rashad Penny goes right there. And this is just a part of the board here that I just really don't like. Not a huge fan of the board.
So Kendra Miller is hurt. Kamara suspended 3 games. Jamal Williams should be startable for the first 3 weeks at least. Right?
I would think so.
Right? Tell me I'm right so I could do it.
You're right.
Okay.
I think he'll. I mean, even when Kamara comes back, like he is the goal line guy. We saw it last year how efficient he was in goal line
17
goal line
touchdowns?
Situations. And this is now where it gets tough.
I know you like Charbonnet.
I'm thinking Charbonnet, but I don't think this guy is going to come back around to me. I'm taking him.
Okay.
I'm buying the hype.
I like it.
I'm buying the Dalton Kincaid hype, especially in a 2 super flex where I have Travis Kelce and I can kind of put Dalton Kincaid into my lineup here still with Travis Kelce. I'm looking at my board now. I'm buying into the Buffalo Bills offense.
I got a draft next. I'm going to tell you right now, I got to go after Samaje Perine. Then I'll have the trifecta of Dalvin Cook, Jamal Williams, and Samaje Perine. I'll be like fantastic at running back for the first 3
backup
weeks.
running back kings.
Yeah.
And this
until
is
they get hurt.
Yeah. Like in most drafts, I'm really trying to target wide receiver, but I'm kind of playing with fire right now, having a very less than ideal wide receiver room.
I mean, so many teams in this went so wide receiver heavy early on.
And I think
there was such a frenzy for running backs. I think it works.
Yeah, I definitely think it's one of my favorite strategies this season. As Devon Achane goes, Achane, as we talked about, a guy that we like. Of course, as long as he doesn't get hurt, is able to come back and be healthy, I think that he'll be good. I think he has a legitimate shot to be the RB1 in that Miami Dolphins offense. It just is unfortunate as Samaje Perine goes. So,
see, for Achane, for me, I like Achane a lot. I think it's more likely, though, that he just becomes another of those explosive running backs on either the 49ers or Dolphins who can't stay healthy. I mean, you have Jeff Wilson, Raheem Mostert. I think he kind of fits that bill of, sadly, I mean, preseason, he's already banged up. He's very small, but explosive. So I don't know if I would have drafted him if he had made it back as much as I liked him, just because I don't think I'll actually start him Oh, there goes Justin
The
Tucker.
the positional value is will we see a run on kicker? Smart move in my opinion, especially in a 2 kicker league. Like I like the move. This is tough.
This gets hard.
This gets really tough, man. I'm not gonna let you have. I'm gonna do something.
Oh,
I'm gonna start a dialogue and go ahead and take Aaron Rodgers. Maybe buy on the upside. Like if somebody else's quarterback gets hurt and Aaron Rodgers starts to ball out, like come to me, talk to me, man. Like that's where I'm going right now with him.
Oh,
I like
oh
the
boy,
value.
I don't know where to go. Okay, there was no one else I liked remotely. Jameson Williams, when he comes back, at least has upside. I don't think Odell Beckham, Lazard, Adam Thielen. I don't think those guys have upside.
And that was with me too. I definitely, it's tough, man. Like I
don't like Jameson Williams this year, but
probably the best guy on the board because if you're listening to the podcast, the best guys on the board available right now, a bunch of quarterbacks in Tua, Kirk, and Geno Smith, some tight ends available in Dalton Schultz and Cole Kmet, and Chig Okonkwo, and then Adam Thielen and Rashad Bateman are the 2 best available wide receivers on the board. So we are getting into territory where you are just throwing a flyer and seeing what works.
And this is,
of course, the guy I was going to take is taken. Rasheed Rice is taken.
They listened to the podcast before.
They listened to the podcast, man.
That's so far above ADP.
I'm disgruntled. And
I am. No.
Oh, and Tua goes as well. Was that the guy you were going to try to go with?
Him or Gino, there's only one left. So now if it gets scary is all I'm saying.
We are entering scary hours with quarterbacks.
I have a backup plan. I can't say it though, in case people are watching the stream. I have a backup plan. Oh boy, this gets scary. But I will say kind of a word of advice to people who are drafting soon. Once you get into these later rounds, don't pay attention to ADP. Okay, this is where you take the shots on the players that you personally believe in. Maybe you research them. Maybe you did a deep dive. Maybe you listened to our podcast,
where Romeo Dobbs goes.
But at this point in ADP, you can throw it all out. It's not really rankings. It's just what happens when everyone turns on auto draft because it's average draft price. So go with the people you believe in.
I agree, and that's what I'm gonna start to do here. I
gotta take Chig then. I gotta do it.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
I'm okay. I think he's one of the better tight ends available. Probably my favorite. I'm gonna see if there's a wide receiver that I think I could actually start at some point.
Because it is the wide receivers available right now: Sky Moore, Rashad Bateman, Jacoby Myers, Tyler Boyd, Darnell Mooney, Rondell Moore, Jonathan Mingo. It's tough, man. Like my bench has not even begun to start to fill out, and like that is what's available. Like I've just barely been able. So Elijah Mitchell. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a little more of a timeshare than people think. A little more of a timeshare.
And I will say, capable. I know you probably thought about it, and I knew you could never go with it, but I will be taking Tank Bigsby.
I thought about it.
I love Tank Bigsby. Definitely in my wide receiver room or my running back room.
Do it though.
Yeah,
no, I think that he's the better pick. I personally, it's against everything I believe in to draft Tank Bigsby.
And so now I'm in a really precarious position here because my wide receiver room is Chris Olave, Christian Watson, and Michael Pittman. So now I have a wide receiver room here that is a little scary because like I'm not. A lot of this did not go the way. It did not go my way. So now I'm having to kind of. I'm gonna have to make some magic happen. I think down the board here.
I'm gonna tell anyone who's drafting and listening, he wants Tank Dell. Don't let it happen.
I thought about him. I'm gonna be honest. I thought about him. He is hurt though.
The kickers are. Oh, I forgot it's 2 kickers.
It is a 2-kicker league. The positional
Oh
value,
boy.
the positional advantage here.
Well, Butker is still on the board, which I'm good with. As long as Butker's there, he's every year he's the most like. Oh, that
maybe they're listening because
I hope he doesn't take Butker here. He's gonna do it. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Maybe we need to learn. We need to be better. Yeah, there's the value here on the
Hey
board.
guys, I'm about to draft Irv Smith. Don't let me get him.
Now you're playing mind games, right? Like,
no. I love Deuce Vaughn. That one they're probably genuinely confused. I don't know what I think about Deuce Vaughn yet.
As Kirk Cousins also goes.
I'm waiting on quarterback.
You're just fully waiting on the quarterback. You have a plan. Okay. All right. I believe you. Yeah, I should do well to just use the flex tab on Sleeper here right now instead of looking at everything else. I want to believe there's still value on the board here. I think there is. This is tough, man. Oh, Chigakonkwo goes. So he is.
Are you glad he's off the board? Because you can't draft him. You don't have a place for him on your team, but you can't let him.
I was thinking about it.
Go.
I was really thinking about it. I was thinking about drafting Chigakonkwo.
It takes the decision away for you.
It does. So that helps me out, I think. So now I'm very focused on a certain, just like I have a plan in mind, I think. And there goes Harrison Butker. So Rashad Bateman also goes.
That's a good kicker room.
Evan McPherson and Harrison Butker, I agree. Definitely an interesting room. So yeah, we can start to look at some of these teams here as we've kind of
read off yours as you make this next pick, so they get an idea, and I'll read off mine.
So John Mechie goes, the guy I was looking to probably target here. This is tough, man. I think I'm still gonna go the same. Like, this is tough. I'm going to go Nico Collins, I think. And so that makes my team here quarterback Joe Burrow, running backs Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Pierce and James Cook. And then my wide receivers are Chris Olave, Christian Watson, Michael Pittman, and Nico Collins. And then I have Travis Kelce as my tight end, along with Dalton Kincaid. And on my bench, I also have Aaron Rodgers and Tank Bigsby.
And I just drafted Jake Elliott for the Philadelphia Eagles, a great kicker. If there's a little bit of regression in the red zone, he's going to be kicking more field goals. And if you've never played at a 2-kicker league, once they start going, it gets thin fast because people don't really know how to evaluate the kickers, so people just start drafting them. But that gives my team Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, Deebo Samuel, Chris Godwin, Christian Kirk, Dalvin Cook, Jahan Dotson, Jake Elliott, Brian Robinson, Jamal Williams, Jameson Williams, and Elijah Mitchell. I like it.
No quarterback though.
I have no plan
for you still. As Geno Smith and Daniel Jones both go off the board here. Yeah, this is tough, man. Like,
you're wondering what my plan is.
I don't know what you're building in there. I'm gonna be completely honest. I do not understand what you are building. Justin Roscoe's another guy who has been kind of a preseason darling for many.
Oh yeah. I don't know what to think about that wide receiver room. There's so many options that are so explosive, but I think at the end of the day, it's not going to be one of them being the guy. I think it's going to be they all have their weeks. They're all a flex play maybe, but there's not going to be people keep wanting that Tyreek Hill replacement. I don't think it's happening until they invest some serious draft capital.
Yes, I also think there is a argument to be made that Rashee Rice could potentially take over the wide receiver 1 role there. I like what I've seen from his camp as you are now up. And yeah, you weren't lying. The kickers start to go, man. The kickers really do start to go.
I'm gonna have to take Jason Sanders at this point, and then come around and get a tight end.
That damn, because I was gonna take Jason Sanders here.
You know it's
So that
bad when
makes it
people are draft
makes it
sniping
easy
your
for me
kickers.
here. Yeah,
It's gotta
you
be
know
Matt
you're down
Gay or
bad.
Gano, right?
I know who I'm taking here. Well, can I? I'm gonna take him just because I like the value. I'm taking Jaden Reed,
Okay.
even though I
There-
have Christian
There's gonna
Watson.
be no kickers. It's 6 points a week for an average kicker times 2. That's 12 points. That can make or break a game.
Oh, I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all.
I am more worried about your kicker situation than I'm worried about my quarterback situation.
I wouldn't be. I think there's still guys out there that you might be right. Like I don't I have no idea, man, what I'm gonna do here. As defenses also start to go, I do need to I need to look and invest into the kicker. There's obviously someone's got to kick, right? Like someone's going to be kicking for these teams.
Famous last words, someone's gonna kick. When
Yeah,
you
even
don't
if
have
I
a
had
kicker too, you don't know the feeling. It's scary going into a week projected to lose by like 3 and realizing it's because you don't have a kicker too.
Interesting. I mean, I'll take your word for it, man. As Jake Moody goes, I am now the only. Am I the only one? No, me and Bammer98 both have not taken a kicker yet. So,
Fun
tough,
fact about
man.
Bamer98. So I've known Bamer98 for a long time, in real life as well as playing fantasy football for the past 12 years with him. He told me earlier today, he was like, I'm so glad I finally got an early pick. I'm taking Bijan Robinson. And that's part of the main reason that I traded up for that 101 to take
Oh
him.
my god.
There's nothing better than draft sniping, especially in a draft when you get draft sniped all day long like this league. It feels good to be able to do it once.
Yeah, I would agree.
No, you know who I believe in at tight end that I'm shocked is still there?
Greg Dulcich.
Yeah, Dulich.
I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Definitely.
I
think he definitely has some good upside for him for sure.
Yeah.
Man,
apart from the big 2 or 3 tight ends, I don't care. I've chased high upside tight ends before. It doesn't work out. That's just my personal experience.
Yeah, and maybe looking back, I should have maybe gone with not Travis Kelce, but I stand by it. I like Travis Kelce. It probably hurts my team in other positions here, but I want to take. I need to take a.
Your team is so
look.
balanced. It's so balanced. It scares me. It's every other team has kind of okay. They went running back heavy, wide receiver heavy. Yours is just they went position by position, filled it with the best players. So it's
yeah.
I don't know how to defend against it when we go head to head.
I will say I am a little concerned with the team that you traded picks with, who now has Josh Allen, Austin Eckler, Najee Harris as his running backs there, DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin, and Michael Thomas. Mark Andrews as a tight end. He also has Khalil Herbert, Jerick McKinnon, Jalen Hyatt, Justin Ross, and then also just took Jalen Warren, who I was probably going to take on the wraparound here.
I do want to point something out to you.
Yes.
Hessman just went. The last starting kicker. You, my friend, have no kicker too.
How does that work? There's 12 teams, 12 times 2.
Because people are taking their backup kickers.
There's got to be one on here. There's got to be one.
I'm looking through the list. You must be excited for your draft grade. That's like team A-, strengths, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight ends, weakness, kicker.
No, I think there's still value on the board here. I've got it lined up here. Everybody else has 2 kickers, right? Oh no, no. It's no. I need. I'm
thinking now. They got their backups.
Oh wow. Okay.
You got to start looking at this as a veteran who might get signed if someone goes down with a knee injury.
I think I found my kicker. I'm good. I found him.
You know that I can draft snipe your kicker, right?
You can do it. I don't know who you think I'm going to take, but
I don't know who I'm not seeing a starting. Is it Suck Up?
Hey man.
Don't draft a quarterback on the next 2 picks, and I'll let you get suck up.
Fine. I mean, okay.
I just took in the 15th round
Ooh,
the starting running back for the Kansas City Chiefs. Everyone,
you did do that. I
are
like.
people that low on him?
I mean, he just hasn't worked out for a lot, you know? Like he has not.
When he played last year, he was okay. It wasn't a
Oh,
15-6 pick.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Where's my guy? Oh no, I lost him. All right, I'm just taking Trey Wolf. he got cut by the Titans today. I
Maybe
took
they'll
Trey
change
Wolf.
their mind.
Maybe they'll change their mind and bring him back. He's
We'll
gonna go to the practice squad.
regret.
Where is the guy I wanted? I wanted Cade York. But he's just not here anymore. I don't know where Cade York is. I lost him
he
on
is
the
there.
list.
I found him. I don't know why his ADP is 999. Is he a bad kicker?
I mean, he's not great, but I knew like he's a starting kicker. Yeah, that's tough. You know, that might be my first like.
Oh, and there goes your other guy.
And there goes my other
Musgrave.
guy, Luke Musgrave. I think has a really good potential to be a breakout candidate in the tight end department.
I need someone to draft Cade York right here. I need someone to draft him as their kicker 3.
Where is he? Where is he? Where is he?
I
gotta find him.
I need you to have to send like Michael Pittman for Cade York. I need that in my life.
Zamir White goes. Honestly, not a bad once we get down here, I do like that back-to-back pick there, Deuce Vaughn and Zamir White. 2 guys who have a chance to make their teams and kind of have a role for them outside of being the injury backup. Yeah. Oh my God.
No!
Wow. Okay. That's tough, man. All right. Well, what do I want to do here?
That's revenge for you taking Chris Olave.
Okay.
That's my Anthony Richardson moment right there.
I'll just take DJ Chark, I guess. Who
Is
probably
it time for my quarterback?
It might be. Is it? Who is your quarterback?
I like a lot of the quarterbacks left if I'm being completely honest. But it's
you got to get one eventually, right?
Yeah. I'm just looking at the board. I'm gonna do it. My plan along. Jordan Love. Look.
Wow.
I think we all kind of like Christian Watson and kind of like Romeo Doubs. You're high on Musgrave. A lot of people think Aaron Jones will be good because of the pass catching upside. That, in my opinion, means that Jordan Love can't be horrible. If we all kind of like those players and think there's upside, that means Jordan Love has upside, right?
I would think so. I think
he is the starting quarterback.
He's a guy that
he's looked good in preseason.
Has looked good in preseason.
Behind Rodgers.
It's just like there's so many narratives around him, and I think that's why he gets a little buried. You know, just looking at the board, just like the hand that I was dealt, don't know that I could have done anything better.
And I think I'll probably, I mean, even if I pair him now with Derek Carr, that's a decent quarterback 1, quarterback 2 setup.
I think also our guy that we keep talking about, oh no, Jared Goff was taken. Never mind. Yeah. Okay, I was Jared Goff was still on board.
There was at one point Goff, Wilson, Jordan Love, Derek Carr, and a couple others that I thought had upside. And I was, at this point, I'm fine waiting till the very end and drafting them instead of spending a 10th rounder on Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Has someone taken just for laugh? Did somebody take Ezekiel Elliott yet? Has he been taken? I don't see anybody have him. So that's fun.
Is he not in this?
He might.
I don't see him
anywhere.
No
idea. So now we are coming back up. Of course, some teams have kind of gone with the positional advantage. Of course, there are there are a lot more defenses out there, I will say, though. So both haven't taken our defense yet, but I still think there's some value out there. Certainly, defense is always just like an interesting kind of fantasy position.
Yeah, I have no idea what to do with these ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I got no clue with defenses. I'm gonna take my quarterback too, and Derek Carr
take
instead,
Derek Carr.
and just stream defenses.
That's I also think that's not a terrible.
I don't know.
idea.
I'll just see who's playing the.
I'm going to take one more running back here and take Chase Brown, the rookie running back out of Cincinnati.
Okay.
I think he's really going to take on that that Samaje Perine role that is now left there. So yeah, that kind of just leaves me now with a defense, which, man, this is not
It's
my
tough.
favorite.
It's tough.
Not my favorite defenses out here. But I think there's value to be had. And as we look at the board here, we had like a very mix of we had a big mix of different strategies, right? Like,
yeah,
there's the insane asylum strategy, like that you
Is that
took,
me?
you did, yes, of taking Bijan 1, but then we also had like guys at the later round going very wide receiver heavy, with Al Sham not taking a running back until the 6th round, young Zerk not taking a running back until the 5th, and then some other guys slow playing the wide receiver. And I think that's kind of the way to do it. I think going kind of 0 RB works better when you're in the back half of the draft, because you can stack up on so many of those really elite and good wide receivers.
Yeah. I'm interested. I'm excited to read off all the teams, everyone. I took Broncos in my defense in case no one's watching.
Oh, very nice. I took the Steelers. Is there anybody down here that I mean, when you're drafting Leonard Fournette, who's not even on a team, like, that's how you know you're at the bottom of the barrel. But it is a deep league. I think there's some value to that. And with the final,
it means that you got to trade, which I like.
True.
Oh.
KJ Osborne is taken.
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant, KJ Osborne. He could have a season like Brock Purdy and be the wide receiver 2 on that team, but I'm not sure.
All right, so I'm gonna read off my team, and then JT read off yours, and we'll kind of discuss it. So, with my first round pick, how do I get rid of this ticking?
I think you just there's the sound up there.
There we go. Okay. At my first overall pick, I took Bijan Robinson at the 101. I traded my 3rd rounder for the 101 to move up from the 106. Took Bijan Robinson. Then I drafted Jonathan Taylor in the 2nd. A risky play, but if things work out situationally, Jonathan Taylor in the middle of the 2nd round is a steal. Then I did not have a 3rd round pick. I came back and went wide receiver heavy. Took 2 stable wide receivers in Deebo Samuel and Chris Godwin, and actually 3, and Christian Kirk. Then went with my higher upside wide receiver in Jahan Dotson. Then I said, okay, it's time to go back, find some backup running backs who will be startable if something goes wrong with my others, Brian Robinson and Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams will see a lot of goal line work this season with Kamara hurt and Miller. With Kamara suspended and Miller hurt, I think that the first 3 weeks especially, he'll be very startable if something isn't happening with the Jonathan Taylor situation. And Brian Robinson is the starting running back in Washington. I don't know how good he is, but in the middle of the 8th round, I'm good with that. Then I took a high upside, low floor, quite literally the lowest floor of any wide receiver in Jameson Williams. There wasn't anyone at that spot that I loved. Most of the quarterbacks that I had been interested in, Anthony Richardson, Tua, they were gone. So I went with Jameson Williams, hoping that maybe after the suspension, he's at least a deep threat. Then I took Elijah Mitchell, someone who's in a bit of a timeshare with McCaffrey, more of a timeshare than people kind of believe. More productive and efficient, actually, more efficient at least last season than McCaffrey. He's a very good running back. If something happens to McCaffrey, I can start him for sure. Then I went with my 2 kickers. This is a 2-kicker league. So if you don't get your 2 kickers, it's going to be really hard. You're actually going to have to trade for one since it's such a big league. So I got Jake Elliott and Jason Sanders. Then I went with the tight end and Greg Dulcich, and then Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the starting running back for the Chiefs in the middle of the 15th round. Then I took 2 quarterbacks, Jordan Love, high upside. He could be the next year. We don't know. We really don't know what Jordan Love could be, but I drafted him and I paired him with Derek Carr, someone who is very much a known commodity, someone who's been a startable weekly option, never great, but startable, and now in a decent setting with Chris Olave. I think he'll be startable for the first start of the season. And then I ended it with the Broncos defense because I looked up best defenses and they were the one that came up that was still available.
Yeah,
Scientific method, yeah.
So mine here started out the draft with Travis Kelce, and came back around here and got Chris Olave, one of our Prophet approved guys. Had to get one, you know, like if only I could get one, like I had to get one for this. And so I took Chris Olave. Coming back around, needed to get a wide or running back. Didn't really love the value that was on the board there, so I took Ramondre Stevenson, and then came back around and got sniped on Miles Sanders and Aaron Jones. So I took my quarterback, Joe Burrow. Coming back around, really wanted Jerry Jeudy, but went 2 spots ahead of me. So that left me with Christian Watson, another guy that I'm pretty high on. Came back around and got Dameon Pierce and James Cook to round out what I think is a pretty solid starting running back room, all things considered. Came back and took Dalton Kincaid, someone who in this league where you have 2 super flex, like the dude is just going to be a glorified slot receiver for them. So I'm really excited about him. Then came back around and was able to get Michael Pittman in the 8th round as well. Then took Aaron Rodgers for that quarterback security, and also because I thought it was pretty funny to continue the run on quarterbacks. And then took Tank Bigsby, who I'm really high on, and then some wide receiver depth in Nico Collins, Jaden Reed, and DJ Chark. Finally learned about the kickers and took Matt Gay and Trey Wolf because I couldn't find Cade York. So that was tough. And then finished out the draft here with Jaden Reed, Chase Brown, and Pittsburgh's defense. I will tell you right now that since in the time that it took me to read the
have transactions been going down already?
Transactions have already been going down, and I've picked up Will Lutz, the kicker for the Saints, and also had a trade offer in my inbox. Yeah, someone tried to trade me Cameron Dicker for Tank Bigsby, to which I very much declined.
Oh boy. It feels good to look at my sleeper app and be starting a team and not just looking at like 64 days, 3 hours. You know, it feels good to see Jordan Love at my QB1 and Greg Dulcich sitting there staring at me. That just makes me feel like it's football season. Oh boy, I don't know. Yep. Okay, the first like 5 names I see, I'm like, okay, I can, and then I scroll down and it gets scary with Christian Kirk, Dulcich, Dalvin Cook, Jahan Dotson, that I don't know how
you feel about that.
Well, I can I go to the waiver. Something I like about this league, we make it pretty deep so that to do a bunch of transactions, yes, there's some that, you know, players come out of nowhere, but to really do a lot of transactions, you have to trade. So it ends up being a really active league. You can't get by just sitting and going on the waiver wire every Monday or Tuesday morning, whenever your league does it. If there's a player that has a big game on Sunday and you go, I want him, you have to go trade and negotiate with someone. So it's something I recommend for a lot of leagues. I'm looking through right now the kind of best available, and it's rough. We got Zach Moss, some names I've never seen. Yes. Okay, Kenyon Drake sneak. Is that the handcuff now for my Jonathan Taylor?
Yes, I would say that because Deion Jackson was already picked up. So maybe.
I will say Sleeper has this new update. Have you played on Sleeper before?
I have one slot, one
The
one
new
time last
update,
season.
it looks nice. It genuinely looks very nice. And I'm gonna right now in my first transaction of the season pick up one more quarterback just in case. Someone already dropped Tua.
Really?
There we go. My Jordan Love strategy, it ended up working. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll come back in a year and decide if it worked. But there it is.
I mean,
there it
I'm
is.
I'm pretty content with this draft.
Yeah. I will say I think the most profit-approved team was the guy at the end. I'm not going to attempt to say the name, but he got CD Lamb, which we weren't crazy about. But then Nick Chubb, he was an honorable mention, profit-approved for both of us. And then Travis Etienne, the most profit-approved player of all time. And I didn't profit-approve him this year because his profit approval from the past, it stuck onto him. He got the lifetime. And then Cam Akers, who we've been very high on. You've liked Jackson Smith-Njigba. You got Anthony Richardson, Elijah Moore, who we just talked about like 3 episodes ago when we did the quarterback rankings with Deshaun Watson. He got a very profit-approved team. And Chiga Okonkwo, your guy. But one interesting team to take note of is the team that I traded with. They went with Eckler, Najee Harris, Josh Allen, and Mark Andrews to start the draft, then with Hopkins, McLaurin. So a very, very strong team there that I created.
And too in their flex as well, Rashad White and Khalil Herbert as well. Like
it's
very
scary.
balanced.
I'm scared
team.
of them.
Yeah, but I am too.
But Brett Maher and Aubrey, that is nothing compared to Jake Elliott and Jason Sanders. Just saying. So.
True.
And then Bamer 98, the good friend of ours that I stole Bijan Robinson from. He has been, I see him every once in a while. He always tells me how much he loves Bijan Robinson. I stole it from him. He ended up with Justin Jefferson, Tony Pollard, Jalen Hurts, Walker, Drake London, Deontay Johnson, Devontae Williams, Treylon Burks, Kadarius Toney, Tua, who he dropped. So he ended up with a very solid team too. It's going to be interesting because if this Bijan thing doesn't work out, both of those 2 players were massive benefactors of that trade. But if Bijan ends up being the RB1 and Jonathan Taylor figures out what's going on with Irsay, I'm happy with my team.
Yeah, I think it's a solid roster. I'm surprised you made a pretty good team despite the insane things you did at the beginning.
I will say every year I put my money where my mouth is, and last year I had to trade. It was Stephon Diggs for Travis Etienne. I had to do it because I told everyone that I would end up with Etienne on my team, and no one in this draft let me get him. So then the only way I could get him was trading Stephon Diggs. And it was horrible because I knew this is the stupidest trade ever. I made a TikTok saying, guys, I don't think this is a good trade, but I'm just doing this to show that,
how bought in you were.
How bought in. So I'm doing that again with Bijan. I did it a little bit better, I'd say.
Alrighty, there you go.
Than if I had traded, Jonathan Taylor and Tyreek Hill for him. So it is. Nice. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Well, thank you all for watching this. We haven't really done live streams before, so this was fun to do. I hope that it went well over on YouTube, and we'll have this up as audio for the podcast as well. And I think this pretty much officially marks the start of a fantasy football season. Any closing remarks, JT?
I need to get better at drafting kickers, I guess.
It's the stupidest rule I've implemented. One year we did 3 kickers. It was too much. So
oh wow,
be thankful.
Well, yeah, with 3 kickers, like there's 4 people.
It got weird.
There's 4 teams who don't have a kicker.
People were in the third round going, "Oh, I need Harrison Butker." You got to a point you're like, Harrison Butker or Aaron Jones. Yeah, so be glad it's 2 this year.
Yes.
All right, we will see you all next time. Thanks for listening. And as always, make sure you draft some profit-approved players so you can either come victory lap with us at the end of the season or come to our houses and harass us. See you next time.